Hey, what's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do, hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. Hey, today I want to bring an update on a story that I brought to you last year about a football player who was charged with killing a transgender guy. And he said he did it because the dude lied about being a woman. And when he found out he was a dude, scuffle, kerfuffle happened, and he hit the dude a few times. Dude ended up dying. And I was like saying, at the time it was a few stories that was out about these genders being killed by people, and a lot of guys that do would say that they didn't know that these women or these supposed to be fake women were men. And then when they found out, it's a crime of passion. They get upset, start beating on these dudes, and the dudes die, or whatever the case may be. And no, I'm not want to be a victim blamer, but I always say, man, you have to be careful what you do, man, because you gotta, face them consequences of your actions. Always. Murder should never be an option, but never sit there and think that it can't happen to you. But let me hit this up. It's a Roanoke Times. It said former Virginia Tech football player Isimemen Etute found not guilty in beating death a Blacksburg man. We're gonna try to go through this. I'm just saw this, so I'm gonna try to go through this as quick as possible, as much as possible. It's a former Virginia Tech football player. I'm gonna say IE, but I don't want to butcher his name. I apologize to him and his family. Was found not guilty Friday in the beating death of G.R.O.W.T.H Paul Smith following a 3-day trial in Montgomery County Circuit Court. The second-degree murder case drew widespread attention last year because of the unusual circumstances. A college athlete who admitted fatally beating an openly gay man who had posed as a woman on Tinder to initiate a sexual encounter. Etute's young man's attorney argued the beating was self-defense in a confrontation between the two, in which the man's true identity was revealed. When the verdict was read in the courtroom, Etute's father David collapsed in his seat while his wife Nichelle sobbed. The young man lifted his defense attorney Jimmy Turk off the ground in a bear hug, with both of them crying. Smith's family quickly left the room. Turk spoke to reporters outside the courtroom after watching bailiffs remove the ankle bracelet the young man had been required to wear since being bonded out of jail June 9th. So he's been out of jail for about a year, which is cool. This is one of the proudest moments I've ever had as a lawyer, Turk said. Turk, who has been practicing law for 36 years and tried more than 30 murder cases, nervously paced the hallways while the jury deliberated for more than 3 hours. That's a pretty quick deliberation for a murder trial. I'm not in shock because it was the right verdict, but I always wonder and worry about whether you convinced 12 people, Turk said. That's always nerve-wracking. I'm just thankful for this jury. It is the right decision, and right now I'm still just overwhelmed. The young man and his parents, who left the courtroom through a back exit, didn't have a statement. The prosecuting attorney, Patrick Jensen, also declined comment, referring questions to his boss, Commonwealth attorney Mary Petit. The young man, then an 18-year-old early enrollee at Virginia Tech, fatally beat Smith on May 31st at the Blackbird's restaurant workers' apartment, according to court testimony. They connected on Tinder, a dating app, weeks earlier after Smith, who identified as an openly gay man, presented himself online as a 21-year-old emergency room physician named Angie Renee. Let's see, that's what I'm saying. This whole thing started off from a lie. A bold face, a hard lie, man. That's a dangerous lie. I mean, I don't care. Like I said, I ain't want to sit here and say people need to be killed, and that should never be an option. But goddamn, that's like, man, they said when it comes to emotions, when it comes to sex and murder, they said the same hormones and endorphins are all intertwined. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like when they say like it's a thin line between love and hate, that's a scientific fact, because it's the same adrenaline that you get with both of them comes out in each action. So like I said, you playing a dangerous game when you sitting there lying to a dude, making him think you're a woman when you're not. Let's see, so Smith performed oral sex on the young man on April 10th, and then the young man returned to the apartment with two of his former teammates in May to determine if Smith was a man or a woman, which means somebody must have said something to him, because everybody know that Tinder. I mean, he was young, probably know no better, but somebody must have said, man, that's a dude. Or Tinder be having some flaky people on there. You might want to go and check this out. You understand what I'm saying? Turk contrasted his client with the victim in stark terms on Friday. He referred to Smith as a deceitful and dishonest man, which he was, who defrauded young men for his own sexual gratification. You might think, how can somebody get gratification out of performing a sexual act on somebody else? It happens. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it happens. I mean, it does. People will get a kick out of doing something for you sometimes. It's just it's just the way the world works. He said, who is the real victim here? Turk said through tears. This is a wicked sexual ruse. Turk made an impactful 45-minute closing statement and implored the jury to put themselves in the young man's shoes on the night of May 31st. Who would be more likely to resort to violence? Who was more likely to be the aggressor? The man who hit the knife or this goofy, gullible kid? Turk said. The dude looked kind of goofy, though. Turk's family was in attendance for much of the trial, having developed deep ties to the young man's family and Turk's daughter, Katie, and was part of the defense team. Isimemen Etute, a Virginia Beach native, often stayed at Turk's house when he was in town for court appearances. Turk's eldest daughter, Lindsay, who had never seen her father argue the case at the close of the argument, was the best speech I'd ever heard. It's like it's all about the dang on me, the lawyer. And see, Turk's, and he spoke at my wedding, she said. Okay. Turk spent much of his closing statement arguing that the young man who testified on his own behalf, acting as self-defense, as the Smith swung at him and reached under his mattress. The police searched Smith's apartment, found a knife hidden between the mattress and box spring in the spot where Etute alleged attacks took place. I felt violated, the young man said, of discovering Smith's identity. I was just in shock and disbelief that someone tricked me and lied to me. The jury got to hear the young man's description of the events twice during the trial, with the prosecutor also entered evidence a 45-minute video of Blackberry police detective questioning him on June 2nd. So the young man testified in court that Smith reached for what he thought was a gun under the mattress, but didn't mention the fact when originally questioned in 2021. Jensen didn't defend Smith's conduct in his closing statement, but said that the brutal beating showed the malice required for a second-degree murder conviction, and the defendant's contradictory statements were enough to cast doubt on a self-defense claim. Then you got to think about people's emotions. Stories can't change over time. I mean, when you high on adrenaline, you may see things one way, but then when everything calms down, you can see with clearer head things that you forgot in the beginning, or things you may have misspoke on in the beginning. You can correct later on when you have cooler heads. He has a motive for changing what he said, Jensen said. The young man had a tremendous amount of riding on this trial. Jensen did cede a bit of ground in his rebuttal remarks after Turk's emotional final words. If you find this wasn't in the heat of passion, you shouldn't find him guilty of second-degree murder. The crime would be a voluntary manslaughter. But what I'm telling you is, this was not self-defense. So she pretty much opened up themselves for it. The prosecution maintained that it was a straightforward case to the jury throughout the trial with crime scene photos. Jury saw multiple photos of Smith's dead body lying at the foot of his bed, including close-ups of his bloody face, as well as details of Smith's autopsy that highlight what was one-sided assault. I mean, hell, little man swung at me and missed. Oh yeah, it's gonna look one-sided because you ain't gonna get a second chance to swing at me. The facts, for the most part of the case, are not contested, Jensen said in his closing statements. The defense painted a more complex picture of the case while emphasizing the criminal nature of Smith's conduct. Everything he did was evil, Turk said in his closing statement. Turk was able to get the lead detective on the case, Ryan Haidt, to tell the jury on Thursday during cross-examination that he would have referred Smith's actions in this case, obtaining sex through false pretenses, to the Commonwealth's attorney had he known about them. The prosecution relied on expert testimony for the likes of state medical examiners Amy Tharp and forensic detective Mike Cernicki to make sure the jury understood the level of damage the young man inflicted. Man, I'm gonna end that right there because it's a long article. I'm gonna put this in the description box for sure. But like I said, I just wanted to bring this to y'all attention, let y'all know the young man got acquitted, which he should have. I mean, that's just the way I feel. I know there's gonna be a lot of LGBT people who ain't gonna feel the same way. We're gonna see if they speak about this, like they speak about Dave Chappelle when he tell his jokes and they get upset. Or if they gonna, they ain't really said nothing about the dude who tried to attack Dave Chappelle, little guy, young guy, homeless somehow, can afford $1,000 somehow, sitting in the arena that's, the cheapest tickets I heard was like a few $100s. Don't know how but anyway, that's a whole nother story that again, they're not really explaining or talking about this, explaining that story either. So the question is, will they come out here and speak on this? Like I said, I mean, the defense, I mean, the prosecuting attorneys, yeah, you can come out and show all this evidence of how bad the room looked. I mean, it's gonna look bad. I mean, say you hit a dude a few times, he gonna bleed. If he die, he gonna bleed. That's what happened. Blood pools, blood come out, nothing there to stop your fecal matter, your urine, nothing there. No muscles are there to contract, nothing there to coagulate the blood. You just gonna leak. So, but they'll try to make it seem like, oh man, you see how violent and devastating this was. I mean, he just beat this dude to a bloody pulp. But I mean, 5 punches, and you see, I mean, you can hit somebody 5 times and not do nothing, or you can hit somebody 5 times and kill them. It is what it is. But like I said, I'm not gonna get too much into this. Tell me what you think about it. Do you think he deserved to go to jail? Do you think he deserved to get off? I think he deserved to get off, and I think he needs to be able to go back to school and finish his football career and his education. I mean, that's what he deserved. I mean, he didn't do nothing but what no one else would have done if they would have been lied to. Or most people wouldn't have done if they would have been lied to about something like this. Man, you playing a man's manhood? Come on, man. You don't know who you fooling with, but you, with your sexual, what you call proclivity, I don't know how you say the word, but you out here taking advantage of little boys. It's basically what you trying to do. I mean, he was what, 17, 18 at the time? So that's what you know what I'm saying? That's what you do. You're a predator. You're a predator, because they said, like in the old in the last video I did, the guy's known to, like, try to holler at young guys on Tinder and lie about who he was and saying that he was a woman. So I mean, anywho, man, like I say, I'm done with this story. Leave your comments below and then share them with the world. And with that being said, I leave you with peace, and I'll see you on the other side.